Hey guys, in this video I'm going to break down our advertising strategy, which is basically how do you pay platforms, how do you pay Google and Facebook or Meta now, how do you pay them in order to get more patients, what does the big picture look like? And as a side note, advertising is sort of the last refuge that we have as marketers. If you want to grow your practice at will, in a short period of time, it's going to be reliance on ads. The other methods, things like local SEO, generating reviews, posting on social media, that's great and do all that, but it won't have the leverage to where you can do something in order to get patients. It's not going to be that direct. So definitely go do it. I've made several videos on how to do those things at a high level. Check it out, but this video is just going to be on ads. All right, so the main platforms we're going to be looking at are Google and Meta. And Meta is broken down into Facebook and Instagram. So off the bat, let me address the common question people have, which is, what's better, Google or Meta? And that question is sort of like, it depends is the common answer. But what I see is like Meta is very good at display ads. Google is very good at matching with person's intent, because in Google, we know exactly what they're searching for. Meta, we can show up in Instagram and the Facebook feed, so you can show more personalized, like display stuff. So when it comes to this, I actually find that it's not like we choose one or the other, it's that they have different use cases. So with Google, what we're doing is we're actually identifying people who have a specific intent. So the use cases for Google is going to be intent. If someone is searching dentist who does braces near me, or dentist who does braces in Anaheim, then we're pretty clear that they have a strong intent. But if we were on Facebook and Instagram, it's very hard to target someone like that. It's very hard to know what their current behavior is like. Here you can only target based on interest, but for something as situational as dentistry can be, it's typically not a good way of going about. So Meta and Facebook, the use case here is going to be display. And you could say, like, some people might say this is like for branding, showing images, but I made another video, I think it was the video right before this one, about what branding actually is. It's not necessarily display, but for meta purposes, branding is not display. For Meta purposes, we're gonna treat it for showing display, showing your face, building more trust, I should call it that. So instead of more trust. So these are the use cases. So what we can do is first connect with people at the Google level. So how should I diagram this? Let's say someone searches on Google. That is a search bar. Dentist near me. Here, based on the search, we can kind of understand their intent is to find a dentist. So we can connect with that, and we have an ad here. All right, so this is at the Google Ads level. We run first Google Ads because we know that they have good intent. We don't necessarily want to create this entire marketing advertising system for someone who has low intent, for someone who is not interested at the dentist, because it's going to be a very hard sell. So we run an ad, and when they click on it, when they click on this ad, they get sent to your website, and we use what's called a cookie. Now this is getting a bit technical, but this is just how it works. I won't get too much more technical besides this. We put a cookie in their browser. So if you use like Firefox, if you use Chrome or Edge or whatever, it's a bit of code that gets put into here, a temporary code. And basically, if they use this same browser, and now they go off of your website. And let's say instead of your website, they go on Facebook or Instagram, then the cookie's still in their browser. So now we're able to show up with your display ads on Meta and or on Meta platforms to people who had high intent because they came from Google Ads. We first matched with high intent. And so what this enables is what it enables is that Meta ads build more trust with people who already had high intent. So as a result, Meta typically gets about 30% cheaper cost per result. So if we're looking for online bookings, Meta is going to come in about 30 to 50% cheaper. But it's dependent on Google. Google enables Meta to exist, because if it wasn't for this, and if we dumped all our budget into Meta, we wouldn't have the capacity or the capability to first target by intent. And so as a result, it wouldn't work so well. So the budget distribution typically looks like 70% on Google and about 30% on Meta. And what we do here is, in this entire system, we also have to have in your website tracking. I'm running out of colors. So tracking is going to be a very important thing, as you'll see. So this is like kind of the big picture strategy. So here in tracking, what we're doing is we're looking for user behavior. What are they actually doing on the website? And there's 3 things that you should be tracking depending on what results you want. But this is what we look for. So first is online booking. Second is phone calls. And third is form submissions. In this order: form submissions. All right, so when these are triggered, it's considered a conversion. That means a user from Google Ads took an action that we wanted them to. And if they don't take one of these 3 actions, then we'll start showing up on Meta. If they do take these actions, great. We don't need to spend our budget advertising to those people because they already took the action that we wanted them to take. So online booking, this is going to be the first, because many modern platforms, many modern online booking systems, by the end of the online booking journey, we're able to get confirmation and send tracking that, okay, they did book online. If your platform can't do that, and we work with a lot of clients with old platforms, then what we do is from your website, just tracking how many people click to online booking. So it's going to be a bit inflated, and so from there we just try to take an average. Phone calls, you do the same thing on your website. All the links on your website are going to be in HTML, and it's going to send out to a tel link, TEL, and basically we're just tracking how many people click on tel links once they're on this website. And finally, form submissions. Oh, and one more note, phone calls, we also want to kind of vet the quality of them by expanding the time on a call for about 45 seconds. Because at about 45 seconds, we're assuming that, okay, this is not just some random person who called in with a quick question and just hung up. There's actually a conversation and a dialogue going on, most likely to figure out the best time to schedule them in. And this is why phone calls are a bit lower than online booking, or it's under online booking. It's because here we have confirmation that they want to schedule an appointment. Phone calls, it's a bit more uncertain. And finally, least certain is going to be form submissions. If they go on your website, they submit a form. That's also a conversion, but we're not going to rate it as highly as someone who booked online or did a phone call. Okay, so now I painted the entire picture. Yeah, so this is the strategy for, this is the big picture strategy for how you can run ads at a higher level that many agencies are doing, and they're charging a hefty fee. But if you know how to set this part up, then you're pretty golden, and you're probably operating better than, I would say, about 60 to 70% of the marketing agencies out there who only know how to do one or the other. With that said, I'll probably do the next video to break down exactly what to do on each platform. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions about the big picture strategy, and I'll get to it. Thanks.